Hey guys, it's Ryan with Mom on Mission, and today I'm going to bring you what we read in January 2020. And this is for me, personally, my third grader, and what we read for a read aloud in our homeschool. So for me, for nonfiction, I read The Gospel Comes with a House Key by Rosaria Butterfield, and this was on my 5x5 School Sisters Challenge, reading challenge, and this book gets all the stars, 5 stars, so good. There's very few books that actually change me aside from the Bible, that make me actually want to change who I am and how I do things. And this book challenged me to do that with biblical basis, obviously. So I just can't say enough about this book. It really challenges you and how you think of hospitality, how you think of other people, and how you should care for one another, and what it means to show the gospel to people, not to just give them words, but to actually be the hands and feet of Jesus, and in very practical, day-to-day ways, not you may not be called to go live in Africa, or whatever third world country and minister to orphans. You may, your call looks different from the next person's, but we are all called to love one another and called to just share the gospel in real and tangible ways. And this book just challenged me in so many ways. So highly recommend that. And then I started Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. That was another book on my 5x5 challenge that I wanted to read for this year. And I got it on Audible audiobook because it was, it's a pretty long book. And I got about a third of the way through before I had to return it because it was a library loan. And then I got back on the list for it, and I'm already 2 people down. So it'll be a while before I can finish that. But I did get about a third of the way through it, and I do like it so far. I'll give a full review of that once I finish it. For fiction, I read And Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. It is another thriller, mystery type book, which is right up my alley. That's my genre of choice when it comes to fiction. But this was my first Lisa Jewell book that I read, and as you know, I've read a lot of Ruth Ware and a lot of Riley Sager, and she kind of has the same feel, but she's a little bit cleaner than Riley. At least she's more on more along the lines of Ruth Ware. And this book was about a family who loses, mainly about the mom, who loses a daughter. She goes missing. They don't know where she is. They eventually find her, but they don't really understand why she left or what happened to her. And without giving away any spoilers, she meets a person, and turns out this person has something to do with what happened to her daughter. I'll just leave it at that. But it was really good. It wasn't one of those that kept you guessing to the very last second, but there were definitely some moments when, that were really suspenseful. And there were definitely ooh, did this happen or did this happen? And, so definitely a good mystery. I would give that one probably 4 stars. And then I have started, but I'm only a few chapters into The Silent Governess by Julie Clausen. I have only read one of her other books, which was The Apothecary's Daughter, but I did really like it, so I'm getting back into hers. This was just a book that my grandma actually gave me some books that she had that she bought discounted and read and was passing along to me. And this is a book of 3 of Julie Clausen's books into one. And so I was like, hey, I need to read something that's actually on my shelf currently. I need to stop buying books. So I'm reading that and enjoying it so far. I'll give you a full review once I finish it. And then occasionally I like to share a podcast with you guys. Some of my favorites are murder mystery podcasts, true crime type stuff, and or theological podcasts. But this time I wanted to share with you, I've been listening a lot to Dateline lately. I used to watch Dateline a lot back when I watched TV before I had kids. But I don't watch nearly as much TV now, so I definitely don't have time to tune into Dateline. But they have, I think it's basically what they put on TV, but it's in podcast form. I think that's how it is. I don't watch it, so I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it's just really good. Like, if you like Dateline, you'll like it, and if not, then you won't. So, as far as my third grader, he did so much reading this past month. So I'm just going to go through these kind of quickly. He read You Choose Batman Summer Freeze, and he gave that a pretty good rating. Then he started a new series called The Last Firehawk, and he read The Ember Stone, which he gave a thumbs up. He read Dogman For Whom the Ball Rolls, which I've been kind of leery of letting him read the Dogman books. I know that they're really popular right now, but I just wasn't sure about them. But I let him read one, and he devoured it and read it a second time, which is kind of weird. So I don't know. We'll see if I let him read any more. And then he read the second, The Last Firehawk. This one was called The Crystal Caverns, and he gave that one a pretty good. He didn't love it, but he gave it a pretty good rating. And then he started another series called the Detective Gordon series, and he read The First Case. And I'll put the authors, you'll see the authors in the little screenshots that you're seeing here. But he gave that one a thumbs up. He really enjoyed that one. Then he read a You Choose Scooby-Doo, The House on Spooky Street. He wasn't a big fan of this one. He gave it just a mediocre rating. And then he read Geronimo Stilton, A Fabumouse School Adventure. He gave this one a pretty good also. And then he read another Geronimo Stilton, Cave Mice, Don't Wake the Dinosaur. Also gave it a pretty good. Then he read Magic Tree House, Tigers at Twilight. He gave that one a thumbs up. Then he read Magic Tree House, Dingoes at Dinner Time. Gave that a thumbs up. And then he read, in one day, the third and fourth Last Firehawk books, The Whispering Oak and Lullaby Lake. And he gave both of those a thumbs up. So I'm not sure if there's any more. I think there's a few more Last Firehawk books, but we will definitely be getting those because he is just devouring them. And he did just start a new series that I will let you know about next month, but I'm hoping he likes it. And then for our read alouds this month, we read The Tale of Despero by Kate DiCamillo. I think we actually started that in December, but we finished it this month. And I gave it a 4.5 stars, which is pretty good for me because I'm pretty stingy with my stars. But that, I don't know why I'd never read it or watched the movie or anything. I've heard the book is far better than the movie is typically true. But it was an easy to follow story, suspenseful, but really had a good moral, had a very good focus on bravery and doing the right thing even though it goes against everyone else's desires, and being brave when you have no reason to be brave. So it was just, I don't know, really good, especially for boys. I mean, girls too, but like having all boys, just seeing that that aspect, that character quality of bravery was really good. And then for sometimes I will recommend a picture book for you all. And this month we really enjoyed the Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales by John Sieska, I don't know how to say his last name, and Lane Smith. This book they got for Christmas from their aunt, my sister, and it was one that when we were kids we loved. I checked it out from the library multiple times when I was younger, and I mean, it's just silliness, but it is really cool. Like, as I was reading along, they would actually tell me, oh wait, I know this story, and they would tell me the real version and how it compares and contrasts to the silly version. So if you want a good laugh, then obviously that's a good book to go to if you haven't read it already, especially if you have boys. I mean, girls like it too, obviously I did, but there's a lot of not like bathroom humor, but just kind of like silly humor. So anyway, that is what we read for January 2020. Comment down below with what you're reading, and maybe you can get some ideas off of one another or from this video. So I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.